Are Black Art Corsairs any good? Okay, what's more edgelord than dark shards? They have pointy, so I need something with an edge. Like two swords, also cool armor. Oh, and I know. Dark Elf Pirates! It's brilliant! Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating to my coffee page. Let's entertain and educate. Kind of my things in life. Black Art Corsairs come in with 100 models on Ultra and have 6,900 health spread between them. Which doesn't sound like much, but this is the Dark Elves roster. Armor is 80, which is pretty robust without being insane. Leadership is 66, likewise pretty solid. Speed is 40, and this is notable, it is not slow. Melee attack comes out of the gate at 36, with an attack interval of 4.8. If you're used to my videos, you'll understand this is actually quite slow. Max Splash targets damaged is 4, so this is another infantry unit that damages multiple small models per attack if within physical range. Melee defense is 28, which is okay, but frankly not tremendous. But hey, two swords, defense isn't off the charts on purpose, that's what the armor is for. Weapon strength is 35, divided between 25 base and 10 armor piercing. This is on par with a Gore Herd dual-axe unit, well, with a hair less AP to boast. This means even though this unit is meant to buzzsaw low-armored infantry, it's not completely helpless against higher tiers either, and stuff in the middle gets beaten up. The unit has a bonus versus infantry of 8, meaning that the true melee attack against rival infantry is 44, and weapon strength is jacked up by a half-decent amount in the process. Charge bonus is 20, and 20 is decent, no more and no less. Mass is 100, since these are still dietitian elves under the armor. It's more important to mention here than it was for the Dark Shards, but the murderous prowess mechanic means that these units have a brief Super Saiyan period when they do more charge damage and have higher leadership. It's nothing truly extreme, that's reserved for the Mastery tier, but it helps. Before getting into other mechanics, this bears explaining. The knock against Black Art Corsairs in Warhammer 2 was directly related to missile units firing faster and thus doing more DPS. 80 armor didn't seem anywhere near enough, and the middling HP meant that these units would take a lot of damage. Not always lose a lot of models at first, but they would have great difficulty, putting out the same help to your army as you'd get from basic bleak swords. And if that's the case, why not just take spears and protect your Dark Shards better? Yeah, well, that was then, this is Warhammer 3. Melee units have more room to shine, and that makes the Corsairs relevant. Also relevant is that on land, you need to crank up the basic military building just to access them, but the Black Arts themselves can crank them out left and right. Well, not in huge volume at the start, but at least you can recruit them at all. I'm looking at you, Malice Darkblade. So on that note, using the Dreadlord with Sword and Shield this time, Linebreaker adds a maximum of +6 melee attack and +6 melee defense to the Corsairs. I want to emphasize, yes, this is basic, but it's also exactly what the Corsairs need. Effectively, 50 melee attack versus infantry, and 34 melee defense at rank 0 is no joke. I'm sure this is no surprise, but Lokir Fellheart has special boosts, I'll save for a video on him specifically. Suffice to say that it's the pirate's life for him. Rank 7 vets benefit from Ravager rewards, not Call the Unworthy like Bleak Swords and Dark Shards would. This grants +10 armor, +10% speed, and a range bonus not applicable. Armor and speed are by no means bad, because that means what? Speed 44? Good. Here's another thing. By turn 5, you could have Driven by Vengeance in the tech tree, granting the Corsairs +4 melee attack, and shortly thereafter marching to war as 10% speed on top of your base speed. Forged to Kill cranks your weapon strength up by 10%. Exotic Beast Hide Armor adds another 10 armor to Corsair units. There's a smattering of upkeep and recruit rank boosts and so on, but that's the important stuff. Effective 54 melee attack before adding magic or extra lord boosts or XP chevrons into the mix means that these are serious edgelords, not fake ones. So where do you use the Corsairs? Well, that depends in large part on your enemy's choices. The Corsairs are not that expensive. I use as an example my control group of Empire Swordsmen, with a Dark Rider unit disrupting the pesky archers midway, and then against a huge mass of clan rats. Yes, it takes time, but without armor piercing, the clan rats do not eliminate the Corsairs, and the Corsairs gradually wear the opponents down. I had a little weirdness from using control groups, but that's no biggie. In short, this is exactly the kind of unit you want wailing on a resistance group of mid-armored opponents not good at fighting infantry, aka spearmen. Halberdiers might do more damage back with armor piercing, but any variety of spearmen stands to get mauled. It'll be slower than you like, but two things about that. One, Dark Shards have such powerful armor piercing that shooting Corsairs in the back is a legitimate concern. And not even because they're such vicious punks that they'd enjoy doing it on purpose. They're not, at least I don't think so. Friendly fire is a huge problem in that sense. Two, this issue is completely solved by Black Ark Corsairs with handbows, who can fire while moving along the flanks and aren't firing bolts that penetrate armor enough to seriously damage their own. Those are the main considerations. If you're fighting an army of angry war mammoths, you brought the wrong unit. If you have an army with a lot of large units which need help shredding spearmen thickets, you brought a reliable option. Just keep in mind the attack interval. It's a slow whippersnipper, but the armor hopefully makes up for that. And against the right opponent, you can leave them and concentrate on something more urgent. This is important too. Take care and have fun living the knife-eared edgelord life.